You think that billion-dollar investment in Hunter came for free? No, the Chinese have a great return on investment. But guys, more importantly, who would have thought that within 33 days we'd be bombing the Middle East again? I would have. Oh no, guys, come on, the military-industrial complex, I'm surprised it took them 33 days. I guess they waited till the first month, so they couldn't say that was part of the first 30, but it was only shortly thereafter where we started bombing the Middle East.
Bomb 'em.
Speaking of bombing the Middle East, have you seen Liz Cheney's poll numbers? No, listen, the one thing I'll say for Liz Cheney is I'm sure she has a lot of bipartisan support, because if there's one thing that she and Joe Biden definitely want to do, it's bomb the Middle East. Everything else is a disaster. Everything else is just rhino policies, the kinds of policies
again, everybody,
that put the Republican Party in a position where they needed a Donald Trump. No, seriously. Liz Cheney and her politics are only slightly less popular than her father is at a quail hunt. What? Fact checkers, please have at it. Fact check true.
Bombing again, everybody.
Right? Listen, like I said, Liz Cheney, she hates Donald Trump and his policies because her family has a long history of friendly fire. But she also hates them because she's tied to an establishment that has done nothing but fail us time and time again. You've heard the rhetoric from some of them over the last couple weeks, and now you've seen that change very quickly. Because if there's one thing the Republican Party has been really good at over the last few decades, is snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. They've caved to every special interest. They've caved to corporate America. They've caved and bowed to the radical left that hates their guts, hates their values, and hates their freedoms. Lincoln Project Liz, as I'd like to call her, is the leader of that failed movement. And if we want to go back to losing, if we want to go back to an America Last policy, we should be following that. But I don't, and I don't think anyone in this room does either. So, you know what, guys? The first 30 days has been a disaster. The lies the media told you wouldn't happen are all happening. But hey, at least they have a diverse cabinet. Right? No, yeah, it's very diverse. That's what we saw, right? What is the policy of the SBA? Well, first and foremost, we appointed a woman. Well, that's wonderful. Is she competent?
Yay.
Because there's competent women and there's incompetent women, just like there's competent men and incompetent men. We've seen that. We know that to be a fact. But when you don't have policy to address the incompetence and think you can get away with it by just talking about diversity blindly, it's sort of a problem, isn't it?
So now, why can't most of the Republicans actually go at it
this
like
month
you?
Alone, they've banned the Muppets. Right? I mean, if there's things that you thought were sort of above cancellation, you would be wrong. There is nothing the radical left won't cancel. Hasbro now wants a gender-neutral Mr. Potato Head. These are the issues of our times, folks. I mean, if Hasbro really wanted a gender-neutral Mr. Potato Head so badly, they should just slap a picture of CNN's Brian Sletler on the cover of their next potato. What?
I want a Brian Sletler.
They don't call him Mr. Potato Head for nothing. I mean, you know, we might as well get something out of the branding.
Mr. Potato Head.
But guys, we can talk about all of these things. We can talk about the liberal hypocrisy, liberal privilege. Just look at how magically, in 33 days, children in cages
are
turned
back in
into
cages.
migrant shelters for children. Now, mind you, nothing actually changed. If you look at the pictures, there's nice bars on the walls. Nothing changed other than the media's outlook. Where is the outrage about this? Where is the outrage about an asinine immigration policy that is encouraging people to bring children, unaccompanied and otherwise, into a country? Guess who gets hurt? Our low-wage earners, who for the first time in modern history under Donald Trump started seeing real wage growth. We see it time and time again. There's a double standard by which we live, but when you look at what's going on, if people were informed of the actual facts, rather than spoon-fed a narrative by big tech and the mainstream media, we wouldn't be in these things. There was a poll that came out just this week that said 1 in 6 people would not have voted for Biden had they known about the Hunter Biden scandal. Yeah, where is Hunter? Guys, I'm sure he's making billions in China. Don't worry. Don't worry. One in 6, guys, 17% of the 80 million that voted for Joe Biden wouldn't, had they even heard of the basics of his corruption. We were all talking about it, guys. It wasn't anything new, but that also shouldn't surprise us. We've been talking about Andrew Cuomo sentencing Nana to death for 10 months. But no one was going to talk about it until they got their wishes. No one was going to address Democrat incompetence. We believe all women until they accuse a Democrat. Then, not so much. But guys, that's why we have to stay engaged. That's why we have to stay in the fight. That's why we can't allow them to steamroll us like they have done for decades. When you look at what's going on just this week in Congress, you have Democrats petitioning major corporations, Comcast, Amazon, to ban conservative news outlets. Not radical parties. Fox News, Newsmax, OAN, just ban them. You don't see Republicans saying, let's talk about CNN as a place of disinformation. I mean, as a recipient of their ire for a couple of years, I can assure you that they were lying about Russia collusion. We all know that now, but no one actually brings it up because they can get away with it. They are able to do that. Big tech will silence you if you come out against it. They will crush you. They will call you racist and everything else. Just like, imagine, we'll bring back Cuomo, right? Imagine Ron DeSantis did what Cuomo has done over the last couple of years. He wouldn't be getting an Emmy. He'd be in jail. Right? Credible accusations of harassment, swept under the rug. No problem. Give him an Emmy. Remember Fredo when he was talking about it? Oh, for months? Oh, where's Fredo? He's so quiet these days. Why isn't Fredo talking about these things right now? Again, liberal privilege. No, we can't address that. Really? You can't address that. No problem. Making clowns of yourselves for months prior. That's what we're up against, folks. But together, we can win these fights. We have to be vocal. We can't be put in the corner. We must be out and engaged. And that's where you guys come in. So, I'm looking forward to Sunday. I imagine it will not be what we call a low-energy speech. And I assure you that it will solidify Donald Trump and all of your feelings about the MAGA movement as the future of the Republican Party. So thank you, CPAC. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the love. You guys are the best.
What are you saving your ammo for? This is the moment that matters. I could go through life and I could live in the comforts of life and I could go on for 80 years and then make money, do the formula of life. Then I'll just fall to ashes.
To have that burden lifted off of my soul is, I've never felt happier. When I'm coming and explaining what Google was doing, this is an act of atonement to make my conscience clear.
I think the big problem that we have today is there's an ambiguity about whether tech is neutral or whether it's biased.
I saw things going on that I personally found to be troubling. And so I felt that the best thing to do was to inform the public.
I think the truth is more powerful than any NDA. As you say, be brave. I am more brave than I am scared.
Most people just don't have the cojones to do this.
I saw a blatant exception that just targeted conservatives.
I decided to wear the camera because I didn't see any other option.
They may be able to stop one man, but they can't stop all of us. Your courage will be contagious, and it will awaken a sleeping giant. Be a catalyst for change. Be brave.
And now,
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thanks, CPAC, so much for having us. Project Veritas, CPAC edition, uncanceled. Everyone's saying, what can I do about censorship? You know, most recently, just this week, one of our Twitter accounts was canceled. Project Veritas Action, our second organization, was suspended. Twitter said that we were evading permanent suspension. I'm not sure what they mean by that. We've had this account for years. This account we violated people's privacy. But we're doing reporting, investigative reporting. We confronted this guy outside of his house, the Facebook vice president. We caught him on a hidden camera talking about censorship. This is what reporters do. And Twitter suspended our account 2 weeks ago, saying we were posting people's private information. Again, we don't know what they mean. Now, CNN does the exact same thing. Drew Griffin confronts people outside of their homes, but not Facebook vice presidents. No, he confronts non-public figures, private residents. And unlike CNN, they didn't blur the number on the house. So what we're doing is what journalists have done for decades. And they didn't blur the number, I'm blurring it for you. But that tweet by CNN remains online. Now, we tried to appeal the suspension. They told us we could. During the appeal, we were suspended. The media called Twitter. Twitter changed their minds and suspended us permanently, saying to CNN that we violated the company's, quote, information the public has a right to know. And we were suspended on Twitter permanently. But unlike what Brian Fung said, now we have Anna Cabrera and Brian Stelter saying the opposite on the air.
This is part of a much broader crackdown, as we mentioned, by social media giants on accounts that are promoting misinformation.
Misinformation? That's not what Twitter told us. They said we were violating people's privacy. Brian Stelter, again, just making stuff up.
But Project Veritas, a very controversial conservative group, got swept up in a Twitter policy by violating multiple rules on the site.
But we didn't violate multiple rules on the site. We violated one rule, according to Twitter, anti-doxing and privacy, they're just lying. They just make stuff up. Ana Cabrera then says this. Activist organization. That's psychological projection on behalf of CNN. They're the activist. And you know what? Usually I demand a retraction. Usually we have the retracto alpaca. But they lie so much. You know, we already sued the New York Times for defamation. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and sue the hell out of CNN for what they said here. You know, we're going to start going on offense. You want to lie about me, but you lie to sit you down under oath, and you'll be forced to do something you've never had to do, and that's tell the damn truth. It's about time we go on offense and sue the shit out of them. Also, we're going to have a legion of whistleblowers, brave heroes, people on the inside like Eric Cochran, the Pinterest software engineer. He leaked code from within Pinterest that said they were censoring Bible verses. You couldn't actually type the word into verses. It changed it to verse us. And you never would have believed it, except Eric blew the whistle, went on the record, lost his job, and did this for the public's right to know. I asked Eric Cochran why he did such a thing.
To me, there's no other option. I could go through life and I could live in the comforts of life, then I'll just fall to ashes. No matter what I lose, it'll mean something after I'm gone.
And Eric Cochran from Pinterest is here today. Eric, would you come on stage?
2 years ago, my life changed drastically after uncovering hidden censorship of live action and the pro-life movement. In these times, some risk is required of all of us who want to make a change bigger than ourselves. That means different things for all different people. If you see corruption on the inside of a major institution, government agency, big corporation, come talk to us at Project Veritas. We'll have your back and we'll make that change.
Eric's actions helped inspire a Google insider. Zach Voorhees found a memo, a privileged memo inside Google talking about algorithmic unfairness. Sounds like a society reach a more fair and equitable state via product intervention. We're not sure what Google means by that, but Zach went public with PowerPoint presentations saying people are programmed. He told me that blowing the whistle and losing his job at Google was like an act of atonement.
I feel that when I'm coming and explaining what Google was doing, this is an act of atonement, okay, to make my conscience clear.
And Zach, Google whistleblower, is here today. Come on stage, Zach.
Google, Facebook, and the big tech oligarchs represent the Trojan horse for totalitarianism, sacrificing American freedoms at the altar of their cancel gods. And they would have gotten away with it if it weren't for James O'Keefe and the brave employees at Project Veritas. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause.
What you almost know is that CNN and Washington Post don't have that much power, but they have power because of Google's algorithms prefer CNN. And he recorded all of his colleagues of CNN bemoaning how the network isn't really doing journalism at all.
Seeing what we were and what we could be and what we've become. It's just awful. We could be so much better. Now it's just
This is a 25-year veteran of CNN recorded, and in fact, one of our insiders is still on the inside of CNN and gave us access to Jeff Zucker's 9 a.m. conference calls, which I recorded for 2 months, and I thought I'd I thought I'd dial into the 9 a.m. and tell Jeff Zucker hello.
We've been listening to your CNN calls for basically 2 months, recording everything. Just wanted to ask you some questions if you have a minute. Do you still feel you're the most trusted name in news? Because I have to say, from what I've been hearing on these phone calls, I don't know about that. I mean, we got a lot of recordings that indicate you're not really that independent of a journalist.
Thank you for your comments. Set up a new system.
Yeah. I'm surprised he let me finish my comments. So one of the CNN insiders came public. He told me it was a choiceless choice to blow the whistle.
I decided to wear the camera because I didn't see any other option, because I noticed that I was in a very unique position in space and time to just do something to protect the Republic.
Gary Porch, would you come on stage from CNN?
Ladies and gentlemen, listen, CNN, I did not betray CNN. CNN betrayed me. They betrayed you. They betrayed the rest of the American people when they abandoned their journalistic mission. This right now is our 1776. The new battle for our republic is the battle over information of whom is allowed to see what at what given time. Truth is now subjective. That's why we do what we do. If you have a story in government, media, or education, come find us. We will protect you and tell you.
Facebook, or you'll be banned. In fact, me playing the video of Mark Zuckerberg making his comments might make me get banned, so I'm not going to play it. But we were also filming people inside Facebook saying they do shadow ban.
Facebook shadow bans. Yeah. Facebook's notorious for it. And they say they don't, but it's clear that people's content don't comes up because it's going to be filtered off the queue.
Saying that they do this when Ryan and Zach. And then there was Zach McElroy, who said he violated his own non-disclosure agreement for your right to know what's going on.
I think the truth is more powerful than any NDA. As you say, be brave. I am more brave than I am scared.
And here they are, the two Facebook whistleblowers.
cpac, I filmed with the hidden camera Facebook, and it was 100% worth it. I have zero regrets. We need more people to stand up, to come forward, to fight against big tech censorship.
Speaking truth to power against one of the biggest tech companies in the world, really, was simultaneously one of the easiest and hardest things that I've ever had to do. It was risky, but I also saw the need to speak out about the abuses that I saw as greater. So if I could leave you with one thing in my experience, I would say that sometimes it can take a lot to speak the truth, but it takes a lot more to speak truth to power.
And last but not least, the letter carrier, Richard Hopkins, who overheard his supervisor talking about backdating the postmarks on ballots.
I heard him say to the supervisor that they messed up yesterday. I was like, oh, what did they mess up on? And he told the supervisor that they had postmarked one of the ballots, the fourth, the third.
And federal agents were sent to coerce Richard to change his story.
Because in that, believe it or not, your mind will kick in. I am not scaring you, but I am scaring you.
I mean, it's coercion. And Richard asked, what am I signing? What do you telling the media? And these guys had no interest in getting to the bottom of what happened. And of course, Hopkins felt betrayed.
They were grilling the hell out of me.
How are you
played.
He watched the Washington Post with a headline that said he recanted his statement, according to anonymous sources. He recorded the whole interaction. So who are these sources when he had the tape itself? And he said he had a family. He said what he went through, losing his job with the post office, was worse than his combat experience overseas.
Yeah, I've got a daughter. My daughter in Afghanistan getting shot at by Afghans. Honest to God, than, you know, having to be in this kind of position.
Richard Hopkins, come on stage.
How y'all doing today?
USA, USA.
Well, I'm an average guy. You know, your average Joe you see on the street. You never even would notice me back before this all happened, really. And that's part of the reason why I was able to be where I was and overhear what I heard and be there and get hold of Project Veritas, who has been they've been at my back this whole time helping me out with this whole situation. Down, it bothered me. At least needed to be known. Whether people believe me or not, I wanted you to know. And now you know. So.
Thank you, Rick. If you see something, if you're out there, if you're lying, cheating, stealing, scamming, just know that we have an army of informants, an army of brave heroes, and we will make you the next unwilling internet celebrity.
Richard, good job, buddy.
Bongino Show, please welcome Dan Bongino.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.